Hey, what's up, everyone? We are live. Welcome to another segment with, your boy M3 and Stan, on our talk show. Can you spare some change? Okay. Now, last week's show was definitely pretty good. And we have some men coming up, saying their piece. And of course, our show is going to be like, at least like up to an hour long. But tonight we're going to be talking about Jada Pinkett Smith. What does she stand for? Okay. Now I know Jada will make you cringe to most people, but it's okay though. Uh, we're going to be diving into that. Got some questions in, but other than that, let's go ahead and we're going to play the intro and then we're going to get started. Stan, you got anything to say before I play the intro?
Hey guys, just grab your blankets like Linus and get your drink like we on Cheers. We're gonna go on the ride.
Most definitely. All right. Excuse me. Anyways, all right. So we back, of course, and I can't wait to dive into this topic. So hopefully, as we are live, more people will start tuning in. I give about like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. But look, I got my questions ready because see, when you're dealing with the Wicked Witch of the West, Jada Pinkett Smith. Okay, aka
AKA Jada Pinkett Shakur.
Oh yes, Jada Pinkett Shakur, because by heart, she is married to Tupac, right?
Yeah.
What up, Grizz, man? Salutes to you, Grizz. Welcome to our Mental Health for Men live stream. If you wish to come up, I will definitely pin the link to the top on knowledge and relationships. So definitely, guys, please join the stream. I'll send out to everybody right now. Join, but men only. Okay. Let me make sure to make it clear. This is for men only. All right. Maybe one day we'll have some women to stir the pot, but for now,
oh no,
let's get the brothers up there.
Mental health. We can't stir the pot. Not for mental health.
Well, not that type of stir the pot, but you know what I mean. Like, give them some flavor. Let me be politically correct on this one. And yes, she do be off the chain. So let me go dove into knowledge relationship so I can make sure this is definitely pinned to the top. You might hear a little bit of noise, but I will definitely mute it right away. So okay. All right, everybody. It is pinned to the top. Everybody, feel free to join in. Men, you are always welcome. Okay. Again, this space is, to pretty much deal and talk about the things that we go through, on a daily that maybe is be unspoken of. Again, we're gonna have some laughs, we're gonna have some jokes or whatever. We're still gonna make it fun. But at the same time, it's all about the healing for men. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and pull up the questions real quick while I'm doing this. Stan, when you hear about Jada Pinkett Smith, man, I mean slash Shakur, I mean, what goes on through your mind, my G?
Why does women want to destroy Will Smith? Why? What did he do to her? Except for not being Tupac.
See, this is where like I want to like kind of like dig deep into this, man, because my issue is okay, and this might be a community type of thing, but it seems like the way how like society has placed us, okay, or the way how maybe certain women look at men, it's like, especially with black women, I think it's like in order for you to carry on your masculines, you have to kind of act in a certain type of way. But it depends on a person's maturity level. Now, I ain't trying to bash like Jada, and it's not like a Jada bashing stream or whatever, but I'm looking at the psychology of it. Okay, if you grew up in probably like in a certain type of community where your identification for men, okay, masculine men, were like in a certain type of way, whereas like it was loud, maybe they was gang banging, selling drugs or something, but getting things done, for their families. Maybe that's something that you probably look at as a man to be in its masculine. Whereas for some, they look at it like toxic masculinity. What up, Chris?
What's going on, bro?
That's much good to see you up here.
What's up?
So, what's going on, my dude? Hey, so my question to you, gentlemen: Do you want the director's cut version? Do you want the theatrical version, or do you want Cliff Note version? Because I know a lot about this about in the entertainment industry. What version do you want?
Well, the only thing. Okay, let me start with my piece about it. Right.
Yes, sir.
For me, what I hear when I hear Jada Pinkett Smith, I'm like, oh my god, like my stomach hurts. I'm about to throw up. I got a headache. Because if Will has a good week, here she is going in about his weaknesses. It doesn't matter. He had a podcast, and then she just came up with all that stuff. And it's like, it doesn't matter what he does. It's like, it's going to be all bad for him, right? And I see that a lot of times that's played out outside of Hollywood. I see that's played out in the regular relationships. It doesn't matter what you do as a man, you're going to get trashed on by whatever woman you have in your life. It's so regular. It's just so like, man.
Yeah.
Is there any hope? And not saying, and of course, I'm going to say this real quick. There's not a collective all. So like, come on, guys, we all been in school. When somebody say all, we all know that it doesn't mean all. So let's not go into that argument. It's the year 2024. We all going to public school. We know what it means when somebody say all. Does not mean a full collective all, or statistically all. It means a majority. Okay, we know that. We all going to public school. We all
you're always gonna have those bastards. Okay, those assholeian bastards. That's always gonna be condescending, and then they're gonna try to nitpick and be like, "Well, not all. Well, damn. Well, of course, we're not talking about all people, but our all is basically from the majority of what we see." And sometimes, man, I'll just flip it and be like, "Yeah, you know what? I say all of them. Like I always say, all women don't like each other." But that's another story, right?
Yeah, with those type of people, I'm going to say this. In the year 2024, we know that when you pull stuff like that, those ad hominems and everything else, it does not make you smart. And in those, you really don't have anything to add to conversations. And when you don't have stuff to add to conversation, our expectation is for you to sit down and sit back and be educated. This is year 2024. Just sit down and listen. It's okay.
Damn right. you know. So my question is like, for you Stan and for the people in chat, how do you think the portrayal of Will Smith in his marriage with Jada Pinkett Smith affects men's perception of their own mental health in relationships? I know it was a little loaded, but
Oh man, I say for myself, I mean, there's no hope in the relationship. Like, what purpose does it serve?
Okay.
Um,
But when you
and
look
also
at,
like,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but like when you see like everything that he does to honor his wife, we call everybody will say simping or whatever, but he really do like the way he expressed it. No, we always talk about love language and all this other stuff, but like it's no matter what he does is never good enough.
Mm,
Is not reciprocal. Um, and again, and I see that on a smaller scale in everyday life, it doesn't matter what a lot of men do.
yeah.
It's like it's not enough. Like even though he might achieve it, it'd be like, well, that's not what I asked for. But you did like, no, I needed that to be.
hmm
You gave me this is a nice frame and everything, but this is not the color. No, this is what you just showed me. This is the only color they have. Really? Did you really ask? It's stuff like that that I see a lot. What it does to men. Not what I notice on the flip side too. When the men get tired, everybody says like when a woman's fed up, that song, right?
hmm
There's a flip side of it, like when a man is fed up.
Okay.
When a man's fed up and he's done and over it, it's not a nice place to be in the receiving end of that. And we're not talking about violence or anything physical. You have now reached the level of the Joker slash Lex Luthor.
Wow.
You don't want to be there for that.
Mhm.
That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like when he's at that level, it's like, whoa. Like you have done a lot for him to be in that level, for him to just, he's now the epitome of Lex Luthor, the Joker, or even dare I said Lucifer himself.
Damn.
And I seen men gone to that level, and I'm just like, woo.
Well, you know how we saw that firsthand, like when he was watching the Oscars, and Chris Rock made a joke about his wife, and he laughed, and he had a good time. It was sound like it was the best joke. She gave him that evil death stare, and all of a sudden, that boy was cast on a spell. Got up there and smacked him, and it was like it didn't really make any sense. And I don't feel sorry for Will, like for whatever that happens afterwards by him doing that. But at the same time, it's like, man, you been messing around with the wrong type of people, or you be in a relationship with the wrong woman, and now it's like, okay, you're slowly changing into the man that you probably don't want to be, but you're becoming that man because of all the things that you probably feel hurt about, and you're masking it, as if everything is okay. You guys have this perfect relationship, which brings me to the number 2 question: what lessons can men learn about emotional vulnerability and mental health from the public discussion surrounding Will Smith's marriage?
I would say, you know what I've noticed? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm going backwards to the slap, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was weak because there was other comedians there, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, it wasn't really so much as a joke, but an actual plug. She could go ahead and play G.I. Jane. Like she can act. Like you have access to stuff that other women in Hollywood don't have, like your husband, and then your own acting chops, where
Mm-hmm.
you could have like do a remix of the movie or even make a whole TV series. Like your Jada Pinkett Smith. Like that was a
Mm-hmm.
plug that he did. And also you guys known him. And also, he do have his own mental health. If you look it up, like when Will Smith came on stage, he can't really. I'll say this: like he can't read people emotions. So that's what goes on for Chris, and for Will to do that was like very mean. And he pays it. He paying for it now, right?
Right.
But a lot of times, I'm going back to this question. Now I'm going to this question, right? What I've noticing about marriage. You're married, right? I think for us men, we don't hear the story of when you guys get married, do you lose your identity? We always hear something about the women, right? Well, I got married and I lost myself in the marriage. You hear that all the time. You got lost yourself in the marriage. I'm thinking like, well, it's who you guys. Do men get themselves lost in the marriage? Like who they are as a person is like get pushed underneath the rug because they have to constantly serve and to work and protect all the time. And it doesn't matter what they think, and to keep a happy life, they keep the wife happy and keep the kids satisfied. I'm looking at it like, wait a minute, what's the flip side of this? Because are the men lost? Like, because they don't know themselves anymore because it's always constant duty. That's a question I have to ask. I know I'm asking a question, answering a question with a question, but I'm not married. So that's why I saw it for Will. Like he's not, he's a different person because he is married. Mm-hmm. Like, what does it mean for men? Like, do they lose the identities when they get married?
You lose a certain part, but you don't lose like your entire identity. The part that you're gonna lose is that how it's like your customs to life. Now, but here's the thing, right? Even let's say like you were single, okay, or like you're still single, but over time, your social circle change, your career change, the way how you look at life change. Like at a certain point, you're going to lose a certain part of what you used to be, and now you're adapting to something that's more modern. Like an example, I hate to bring up the term church or whatever, right? But I'm just going to say this, right? Because it's a good example. I know, Stan. When I was 21, okay? Like, man, my social circle was Laney College and church. For more so with Laney College. And man, oh man, I was the man back there. Look, I don't care what people say. You can say, oh, empty, you being arrogant. No. But I mean, I was the man. I was the man. And sometimes I look at my life and I'm like, dang, man, if I could go back in time, I'll go back in time to the days when I had the luxury to do certain things. But however, certain things I denied myself because I was also going to church and still trying to live my life, for God or whatever. But the thing is that, my whole perception was that, okay, man, like church was everything. My whole life is going to be rooted in church. All my friends is going to be church or whatever. I'm going to get all my friends and, how they call it, worldly friends, right? Friends throughout the world and bring them to church. And we're going to build this strong unit, this big nation or whatever of people where everybody's going to be united and doing God's work. But I was wrong, and naive, and I didn't really see the true future of it, So, of course, I set myself up to get disappointed. And now these days, I look at God, I look at Jesus, I look at the church, I look at the Bible, I look at things totally different now than how it used to be. We didn't have, social media wasn't a big thing where it was exposing a lot of things. But we saw it in our own local church. But we didn't talk about it. We didn't have an outlet to say, hey man, you want to know what the app, I'm going to say the acronyms. Bitch ass Christian church. Okay? You want to know what bitch ass Christian church did to me? Yeah. We didn't have YouTube and well, we had YouTube, but we didn't have StreamYard to start easily broadcasting and let out everything that we need to let out. But I'm still working on myself, and I'm trying my best to curse less. I'm working on it. Just haven't got there yet. Anyways, the point is that it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, a marriage relationship, or you were still single, or you was married for like 10 or 20 or 30 plus years. My hypothesis is that every 5 to 10 years, your mindset is going to change. What you used to like before, you're going to not like it later on.
Facts.
What you didn't like before, you're going to love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Facts. Metro fact.
Yeah.
So you mean if my wife cooks horrible food, I'm going to like her horrible food later?
Yes.
You probably will.
Yeah. Hey, Stanley, am I do so? I'm like this.
Okay.
When we were kids and teenagers and such, I didn't really like documentaries. Now, I love documentaries. Well, one for the simple fact that I'm a filmmaker, so I love the way how it's put together, how they carefully craft and put it together and such. I love playing chess. I used to hate playing chess. Now it's like now because I have a son, I want to learn how to play chess. I want to learn more about, even though I hate numbers, I'm trying to learn about the numbers game so I can teach my son. And I'm doing it for myself and for my son. But and there's also too, I like classical music. I didn't like it before, I like it now. I love instrumental music. You know, if I'm writing or doing homework or whatever, what have you, whatever I'm doing, I love different type of music. And also too, like like what M3 just said, the things that you didn't like for instance, the people who I used to hang around with, I can hang around M3 all day, every day, you know, because he's not into no buffoonery. I can't. The people who I used to hang around, people don't even talk to me. Like when I come to the Back to the Hood, half the people don't talk to me no more. Well, there's certain people who talk to me, but certain other people who I used to grow up with, they don't talk to me no more. But I'm fine with that. Yeah, huh?
I said I want to talk to him anyway.
Yeah, like I'm in a whole different mindset, I'm in a business mindset all day, every day, 24/7. But like, yeah, and like me and my wife, you know, we're going through our growing pains and whatnot. I'm different from what I used to be 20 years ago. I'm a little bit more patient. I'm still working my patience like that, and and I'm, like I said, I'm business mindset, and there's certain times when she says, "Hey, I need you to be here, focused," and I'm just like, I'm focused, but I keep my ears to the streets and get ready to the scanner because you never know who I might talk to about business, about something that can help us out or help me out, whatnot. But yeah, but as far as the masculinity, it's like, honestly, I do feel like I am masculine, but sometimes my masculinity can get the best of me because I can be too much masculine. Hey, I don't like that. Like, why you gotta be so angry? I'm not angry. I'm just telling you in my man voice that I don't like that. You know, and now I'm starting to, I'm gonna just keep it short. I'm saying with my and the rest of Kevin Hart, I'm gonna say with my chest. You don't like it? Too bad. You know what? Sorry for you. But I digress. My mic is muted. I'll holler.
No, don't mute the mic. I got a question to ask you.
Okay.
So,
what's happening?
Well, okay. So you gave like a lot of good points. So when you communicating, like, isn't like, don't your wife know like you are communicating your dislikes and it's not personal, or does that go away in time, or that just always say that? That's for both you guys. Because both you guys are married.
I'm gonna put like this. Depending who your wife is, because you can say things in a loving, caring way, but in their ears, you're coming off as too harsh. or why you say it so meanly like that? I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm being me. I am, I'm being me. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning to develop myself. And I tell, and actually, honestly, like real talk, I tell a lot of people this. When you get married, no, actually was on this other podcast. I was on another podcast with Mr. Best, and like I tell everybody this. Even Smitty said it. When you get married, actually, no, not when you get married. When you are in a relationship, know who you are first.
What? Okay.
Huh? Oh no, I'm saying, yeah. Like my thing is, know yourself first. Know who you are, and if the person can accept that, bye.
That's dope.
But
Know who you are first.
I like that.
That I would think that she do know who you are.
I changed.
That changed.
Yeah, I'm gonna play like this. I changed a lot. I'm in the words of Shrek. I'm like an onion. I literally have layers. You know what I'm saying? As a movie, as
Love that. Like Shrek.
I'm gonna play like this. My wife hates it when I quote movies half the time because like there's certain like when we're in arguments or conversations, I will quote different movies if I can come up with it. I will quote different movies like this is not the movies. I'm like, well, look who you married. You married a person who is into movies. I make movies. I'm into making movies. I watch movies, I critique movies, and and if I can remember it, I will literally say a movie line, whether it come with her or with anybody else. And but like I changed a lot. I M3 can probably tell you.
Wait. Okay. So the onions, I want us to like. So the onions, there's not layers that's taken away, but also layers that have been replaced. So like.
Yeah.
Right. That's what both of you guys are saying.
Yeah, like basically, like okay, you're going to like evolve into a different man. No matter who you are, no matter who you try to pretty much avoid to be. Eventually, when the novelty runs out, okay, who are you going to be by the end of the day? Salutes to Big Rick Slap. Salutes to Ruby. I see you guys in the building. Thank you for tuning in, family. But you got to understand this, all right? When you're dealing with life, like especially with a significant other for X amount of years, maybe certain things that you try to guard up in your own life is going to get exposed, or things that you didn't like before, and now you kind of grew accustomed to it, and now you like it. Or even worse, attraction. Look, man, I hate to say this though, right? Even though this applies to not only men, but this applies to women as well too.
Yeah, facts.
People who've been married longer, let's say like maybe 20 plus years or 15 plus years, something like that, right? Yada yada. Okay. Don't ever think that because you passed the 10-year mark or the 15-year mark or even the 30-year mark that you're ever safe. I think Stan got disconnected, but he's going to join right back in. I ain't going to put nobody's business out there like that, but I know, look, friends who was in love with their husbands, their wives in the beginning. Let me bring it back in. Welcome back, Stan. I know husbands and wives that was in love in the beginning, and then they completely fell out of love. They found a new attraction for someone. Maybe that person has a little bit more swagger this time. Maybe you want to live your whole life. Sometimes people get stuck trying to live the glory days of when they had so much attention from other men. Same thing for men. Maybe try to live your glory days when you was the man back then, and all the cute young girls used to give you some play. Now it's like, okay, you're in a new life, so you pretty much put that little part of your past to the side. But once in a while, it's going to creep back up, you know? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so as a former fat boy, I just want to put it out there. I can eat cornflakes every day. It depends on the bowl, right?
Okay.
Cornflakes taste a little different in the glass bowl,
Versus
in the brass
plastic.
bowl, or wooden bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It do taste different. Plastic versus glass. It do taste different though.
See, and also you have your different type of milk, right? So I see it more like the environment situations. Because if I'm married and you're my only source of sex, I'm going to find ways, and I'm going to do some things. Because look, it's going to be like the first time. I'm sorry, because if you're my only source of sex and I'm going to be monogamous, that's where I'm at, right? Because I can't go nowhere else.
And then you develop erectile dysfunction.
What's that? Guys, I remember something my grand uncle taught me. He's like, he told all the boys in the family, he's like, peanut butter and orange juice. Do the research, everybody. Peanut butter and orange juice. This man was still making kids in his 80s from a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Peanut butters and orange juice.
Peanut butter, okay.
But I think also sex isn't just like the act. It's like, kissing and playing with each other and doing all that stuff. Like, there has to be an ongoing thing. Hopefully that happens in relationships and marriage. I'm not married. So both of you guys are like, does that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, you got to do whatever that's going to work for you, but also that's going to work for your spouse. And that's probably like the hard part for most men, which most men don't get it. The pleasure is not about you, okay? Once you bring another person to your life, you are responsible partially for that person, not for that person's happiness. But in some cases, you are responsible for making sure you dropping that D into her system whenever it's needed. But here's the thing, right? This probably is where Will and Jada probably develop their entanglements. Because think about it. Now, I know we're not Hollywood celebrities. We don't have people chase after us like that on a Will and Jada's level.
Not yet.
But if you really think about this though, okay, it's already hard for regular men, okay, to be faithful if you have a certain amount of options of women coming after you, right? And you have some people that's really, really strong. But imagine you being a celebrity where every day you have beautiful, exotic looking type of women come at you day after day after day. You're going to have to probably talk to your wife about something and be like, hey, look, I know we got married and my mindset was this way, but look, man, things are changing,
But you looking at divorce and like Eddie Murphy says, she going like, Eddie, I want half. Like, isn't like, you don't want to have those type of conversations. It's going to be used against you.
But see, divorce is not an option for some of these people. So they work a way to pretty much try to negotiate with their wives and be like, hey, well, let's try to flip this monogamy into a polygamy.
So wouldn't that require you to have a post-nup then?
I'll say again?
A post-nup? Because it's after the prenup. Because now you're adding something in here that could be used in divorce. I don't know, because for me, right? Though, and I get it, right? Everybody like Stanley's a player and everything else, right? Let me tell you something about Stanley. Me and cheating ain't gonna last long because I'm not gonna remember nothing. Like, you want to ask me something like you want me to remember a lie? I gotta remember my name. I can't. You trying to you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit down and try to feed a lie over and over again just because of hurt feelings. I want to keep the truth because you know me, I got memory, for everybody don't know, I was in a car accident, so I got several concussions, and so
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm a lot better.
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah. So trying to remember lies or remembering stuff that doesn't matter, it doesn't work. So,
you know what? I was in a car accident, but
Mhm.
Also, I was never in a car accident, but I have problems with remembering things my damn self, bro, my dude.
Yeah, and because that's the concussions. Concussions do some stuff to your brains, and then after that, like you're not going to remember a lot of stuff. So, like if you're doing stuff like this, it's going to be very like disruptive to your own personal self, and then
Mhm.
to your own mind
No,
and your
that's.
own mental health. Like,
Mhm.
how are you going to put that in a compartment and then trying to be nice or trying to not lie to your wife that you like some other woman? And plus, for men, we like peace. So how do you add something onto your life that going at one point is not going to be peaceful, but traumatic and detrimental to your life?
But see, this is where I'm gonna say like you don't have to put yourself in a situation where you feel like you have to lie. Again,
Yeah.
when things change in the situation, now it's like you're gonna have to have that type of conversation and really be open about the things that you truly desire. And then that's where the
Is
decision
it
lies in
safe?
between you and the spouse.
Is it going to be safe for you as the man if you tell your spouse the truth?
Well,
I'm
I
gonna play
read.
it this.
Mhm.
Whether you lie to honestly, whether you lie, tell the truth, you know what? You might as well. Honestly, you know what? In the words of Thanos, in the words of Thanos, it's
Mhm.
inevitable.
Mhm.
So basically, you can lie, tell the truth, or whatever. You might as well just tell the truth. It's gonna be all yeah.
Look,
So like,
I,
honestly, I'm playing this. In my experience, honestly, I'd
Oh my
rather
God.
so, but here's what I messed up. I messed up a lot. Um, so me personally, I messed up a lot because I'm not gonna lie to you. I have flirted with other women while I was married. Am I proud of that? Absolutely not. That is my fault. That's why I tell other men. That's what I tell men. I'm like, hey, this is my fault. I did not know before I got married. I did not know myself. I did not know myself, and that's my burden to bear. And so, going through the growing pains, relearn yourself as well. While you're married, relearn yourself as well as know your wife. What is her favorite color? What is her favorite animal? Are you an empath? Are you a telepath? What kind of are you? Because I know, for instance, my wife loves horror movies. I can sit through a horror movie now. Now that I'm a filmmaker, I'd be like, oh, five. But she hates this. Five, four, three, two, and cue music. And and okay, let's get that close up. Cue music. She's like, can you just watch the movie? Sorry. Um, but like yeah, like it's good to know your wife. Is and also too, but most importantly, learn how to work together and know your love languages. Know each other's love languages. Know how to talk to one another. Because how I'm talking to you guys, I can't talk to her like that. She likes softer tones. I'm like,
Dude, you're not talking harsh. How soft can you get? Like,
oh, trust me, there's levels. No, I'm dead serious. There are levels. I'm gonna put this in the words of my favorite rap. In the words of one of my favorite rap songs, there's levels to the shit. There's levels to the shit, my dude.
can
Like
you
how I'm talking.
talk to your
Yeah,
wife?
there's levels.
You're talking normal now, so I don't see this as a bad thing. But like, how would you? And then we
Best
got
one
So
get
like,
you next, and I see you, Ruby. See you.
I'm gonna get this real short so that everybody else can go. But soft as me is like, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm sorry.
you mean
Like,
Drake?
like
Like
huh?
Drake? You have to talk like Drake?
I'm not saying talk like Drake. I'm just saying
Like
find one.
that sounds like Drake. My stomach hurt. I'm about to throw up. That's Drake.
I was like a
all right,
librarian.
all right. Hey, let me get in this, man. Look.
Cook, man, cook. Let
Look,
him cook, bro.
I'm not changing a goddamn thing about my tone, all right? If I'm mad, you're gonna fucking know I'm mad, okay? So you don't do the stupid shit again. All right? If I'm happy, you're gonna know I'm happy. And I'm expressing you that I'm happy. I'm a human being. I'm not gonna talk to you like you're a fucking 5-year-old. Especially, hold on, and I'm gonna say this too, and I don't give a damn if women get offended about this. I don't give a shit, right? I don't care if men get offended about this. I don't give a shit. If you're a grown ass adult and you over the age of 25, you're gonna hear different motherfucking tones. All right, you're gonna hear different tones from me. You're gonna hear when I'm upset. You're gonna hear when I'm happy. You're gonna hear when I'm confused, cause I'm a human being. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm apologetic, of course, if I'm apologetic, I'm gonna soften my tone because, and I'm gonna speak to you clearly so you understand that I apologize. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna yell an apology because that just doesn't make any sense, right? Why would you yell at somebody if you're apologizing to them? That just don't make no sense. So of course, I would change my tone if I'm apologizing, right? You know what I mean? That just makes sense. But I'm not gonna change. I'm not changing my tone if I'm upset. If I'm upset, you're going to know I'm upset. You know what I mean? You're going to know. And you should let me know if you're upset. You know what I mean? You don't gotta be disrespectful, but just let me know. Hey, look, yo, I don't like what you just did. Yo, that was wrong. That was foul. You know what I mean? And your voice can elevate and it's all good. I'm not gonna be mad because I came at her wrong, yo. That was wrong. You know what I mean? She had to let me know that. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna do no whole, and I'm not saying that Grits does this, right? But for me, I'm not changing that. Furthermore, right? Furthermore, right? You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to like telling your woman certain things or telling your man certain things, look, man, look, there's certain things that you cannot have a conversation about. All right? I hate to say that, but it is true, okay? You cannot have a conversation about every single damn thing. You can't. All right? You know what I mean? If you
Even
see
when
a
you're
woman,
married? Even when you're married?
even when you're married, you can't talk about everything. So, okay, you see a woman and she's attractive, you gonna tell your woman that she's attractive? You know what I'm saying? No, you keep that shit to yourself. You know what I mean? Just like if you see a dude and he got a major print with the gray sweatpants. Nigga, I don't want to know that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know that. Keep that to yourself. I don't want to know that homie is well endowed. I don't need that information. And I don't need to know that you was looking at the well endowment. That's none of my business. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like the standard's dying over there. But I'm competing. I'm keeping it G, man. I got to. You know that. You know what I mean? So
I
don't
appreciate
tell
that.
me. Yeah, don't
Let
tell
him
me no
cook, bro.
man. Don't tell me no man is well endowed. Don't tell me that his muscles look like this. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Don't tell me you want to rub him down with oil or you was thinking about him. Don't tell me none of that goofy shit. And I'm not gonna tell you no goofy shit either. And that's just how we need to roll. You don't need to know about the freaky shit I think about sometimes with other women, and I damn sure don't want to know the freaky shit you think about with other men. I don't want to know.
But when
We
you,
here.
oh, I'm sorry, we won't continue, Ruby. I just have a quick question for the married men. This is a quick question. But always what I hear from the wives, right? And even in Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk, they're
Yeah.
always talking about communication is key. Communication is key. I want you to tell me everything. So are
A
you
lot of women,
saying,
a lot of women say that bullshit, but they don't mean it. A lot of them say
Yeah,
that, right?
facts,
But they
facts.
don't mean that shit. Listen, don't listen. Listen. This is not one rule I tell any man, right? For most, and it's not for all women. It's for most women. Listen, man. Don't listen to women, man. Right? Most women don't listen to them. Okay? You know what I mean? Because some women, a lot of women are emotional, so they'll tell you they want the truth, and then you tell them the truth, and they come at you with a knife. Y'all see the show Snap? Like, yo, I'm just being honest. Like, yo, you gotta pick and choose what you say. You know what I
no,
mean?
I,
Yeah,
Especially
pick a
if
battle.
she. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example, right? I'm gonna give you an example, right? So Ruby Dog, you don't fit into this box. So this is not about you, because this is not you at all. So please don't take offense. But if it's a woman who is overly traditional, I'm talking about somebody who's really traditional, right? Like she go to church and like she got all these traditional values and you know what I mean? She's by the book. You better not tell her certain shit, okay? You better not. Oh, that's your ass. All right. I'm
but
being dead
why?
ass serious. What? A super traditional girl? Nah, she's not able to handle that shit. She gonna snap. You
They're
know
the
what I
most
mean?
dangerous ones too. Just
They're the most dangerous ones, yeah, because in their mind, right? You supposed to be their world. You know what I mean? You supposed to be their husband. You know what I mean? You supposed to be their mate. So they can't handle anything else. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? If you got somebody that's really traditional and if they even think that you think about another woman, they about to snap on you. If they think you
Hey, you
talking
know
to a
what?
woman too long, hold on, Grizz, let me finish. They
Yes,
think
sir. Yes,
you
sir. Go
talking to a
ahead.
woman too long. You talking to a woman too long,
Woo!
or you even ask her how her day was, and she like, you ain't ask her first how her day was or whatever. Oh yeah, she gonna snap. She gonna
Pachuta?
snap. I'm being G right now. Now, if you have somebody that's more modern, more reasonable, more logical, like Ruby Doll, my sister right here, my sister Ruby Doll, then yeah, she's not gonna snap like that. She's gonna be like, all right, cool. You had a conversation with somebody. It is what it is. You weren't disrespectful. You know what I mean? You was respectful. It is what it is. But now, somebody who's traditional, nah, they gonna be controlling, bro. I'm just letting you know that off top.
I'm gonna say one thing though. Hot grits. Remember that hot grits in the
Hot
pot.
Or
Yeah.
rice?
That's the most as traditional as it could get. All right.
Yes, sir.
Y'all keep talking about all this traditional. Actually, you know what? Even though this is a mental health podcast, but I'm glad that Ruby is up there, right? Because she could probably vouch for this, though, right? When most traditional women that everybody so heavily praise over, right? And I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking the modern women now, right? But however, I keep comparing to the 1950s women versus the women of today. And right now, if you think about women in the 90s, what did they used to do, especially in the early 2000s? They used to bust windows out of people's cars. I've seen it firsthand, especially when the man goes around cheating and he gets caught because he's a lazy cheater. And next thing you know, you have the woman with the brick, and she's busting in the Corvette, okay, taking the back, smashing all the windows and mirrors and bumpers, whatever, right? And all you can see is like the look of the guy's face. Don't go to sleep.
Nope.
Off a traditional woman.
Nope.
You're gonna be waking up with hot grits on your chest. Now they're not gonna pour in your face, they're gonna pour in your chest. So you get that scar and you look down and you're gonna remember that shit.
Yeah, especially if she going to church, she going to them. You know what I mean? She really a church goer and all that, right? And I'm not speaking bad about church goers, but if she going to church and all, she into the church and all that. Yeah, you gotta watch what you say, and she's gonna be very possessive. She's gonna be possessive and jealous. Yes, she will.
And when she talks to pastor,
I'm being honest, bro. I'm sorry.
Hold on. And when she talks to pastor, right? You know, Pastor Longstroke, Daddy Longstroke will give her some opinions about. So be careful.
Yeah, and also too, I'm gonna play this. Also too, like I'm saying this real quick. Let's say that you get married and you don't really have a passion about anything, right? And honestly, like, let's say, you know, you're finding yourself and whatnot, and you finally have a passion for, like, let's say that you have a passion to remake cars. You know nothing about cars, and all of a sudden you're deep diving in cars, and you trying to know everything about cars. You're trying to make a name for yourself in the car road, whatnot. Don't let your profession. If you're working late at night on a car, or you're at a car show or whatnot, and because you made something, and all you can talk about is cars, and that's going to interfere with your relationship too. Honestly, like. I'm like this. Like, for instance, film. For me, I just got booked to be an extra in the role in Stockton, and I'm about to be a wolf in another movie and stuff like that. And like, all I talk about is film. And because in the beginning I didn't know what I wanted to do. Now my whole world is film, and I'm working in the film industry, whatnot. And it's like, that's going to be another argument. She's going to bring that up in the argument. Oh, all you want to do is be in a car show and work on these cars, and what about our relationship? Yep. And so basically, here's my thing. All right, it's like an audition. Here is what I'm working on. Here is my short-term goals. Here are my long-term goals. Let's see what you got. How can and answer to is like, how can we compare my life with your life? Does this add up? And also too, like, in a relationship to anybody, like I said, I'm gonna repeat myself. Work together. Here's my short-term goals. Here's my long-term goals. This is what I like. For instance, I tell my wife, I want to go to Africa before I hit 60. I want to go to Africa off top. And I'm like, hey, how can we work together to accomplish this goal? So me, you, and our son. And so, yeah, so she's like, I don't know. We'll work on it. So But yeah, make sure your goals line up. Not everything has to line up, but at least 50-60% of it should line up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're down and out, your wife's like, okay, hey, okay, I see you trying to, you're down and out. Okay, you're not understanding this. So here, let me help you. But yeah, I digress. My mic is muted. I'll holler.
All right. Now, my favorite Samara Ruby doll, right? Hopefully you're still in the hopefully you're still in the building, Ruby.
Oh, I'm here. What's up, y'all?
Ruby, what up, girl?
What's up, family? I just want to say something, and I hope this is all with love, okay? Shout out to my ladies, my queens that are listening. Shout out to the kings. What's up, everybody? One love, right? But if I was a person who had never been married before, and I was listening to you guys for the last 15 minutes, y'all would not sell me on the concept whatsoever. In fact, you would dissuade me greatly in considering that. I'm just saying. And what I do want to offer is just like the devil's advocate approach in like, oh, and then I think when in relationships, if accountability isn't there, then you're just doomed from the beginning. It doesn't matter. And if there's not maturity there, then you're going to have to deal with things. And if you're continuing to experience these problems with these people, whatever sex they are, you're just accepting it and you're enabling it, especially if you've been with motherfuckers for years. And that's somebody who has done just that. So it was like, sometimes I had to ask myself, when did this go wrong? Like, when did this start to unravel? And I had discovered that maybe it was about 2 years ago from that point, 1 year ago from that point, whatever that point was. And so I have been married before, let's just say that. And I experienced some amazing times. I learned some fabulous times that are like priceless. But at the end of the day, it's like there's some questions. If I ever were to consider even a business partner right now, there are some specific questions that I need to know where they stand at. Because I need to know in this Venn diagram if we can fuck with each other. That's just how I like to break it down. So there's going to be, if somebody's okay with a certain military, command or whatever that that our government okayed, I'm not going to be okay with that. I don't care if you're my partner or my homegirl. So it's like, where are our values? So if I had values that were clear cut and concise, and somebody doesn't fit that, then there wouldn't even need to be an invested interest.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
But hold on, I got a question for her, right? I got a question for her. So why would what we saying make you not want to even think about marriage?
Because it made my butthole clench up. Like, damn, they gotta go through that on a daily. Like, you can't.
They were telling the truth.
Person?
No, Ruby.
Like,
Ruby,
you gotta change your tone. What?
No, yeah, but Ruby, here it is. I'm the single man on the panel, and 3 of these guys are married. I appreciate what they have to say because there's a lot of lies that goes on. What I hear is like, men, you got to sit down and listen to your wife. You know you do.
Happy wife, happy life.
You know,
I ain't trying to hear that bullshit either.
But that's what we hear as men. Your job is to pay the bills and to serve. You need to be like Will Smith. No matter what she says and how she treats you, you need to forgive and welcome her back because sure enough, you have sinned. And because of your sin, that's why she's out there running the streets and being a bust down. And this is all your fault because you're a man. Everything that happens is your fault because
that's not fair. I disagree. My sister,
and you can disagree, but that's what it looks like. So hearing from them and the honesty that they gave was helpful for me as a guy played the organ music, about to go to preaching zone. Because they went ahead and told the truth. Instead of taking us to Dr. Ruth, they took us to the house of the Lord. And guess what? It was no funny stuff like Steve Harvey. Because I don't have to think like a woman, become a man. I just have to sit down and become a man anyway. And that's how God made me.
Yes. And you know what? And there's something else that I wanted to mention, guys. You know, celebrities could be very annoying, and that's just me. Excuse me, don't come for me. But at the same time, it's like we picture their relationships like, oh, we gotta be this Will and Jada, we gotta be this blah blah blah. Dude, they could have the most tremendous things, the most tumultuous relationships, and we have no clue because we're so blindsided by their fakeness. You know what I mean? I'm not dissing homegirl, much love to Jada. She actually, I think women can learn certain things from her when regards to encouraging your children to be their best selves. You know what I mean? If you want to
Or
encourage
learn what
someone
not to
to,
do.
or I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to see the optimistic side of this. I'm
But
not
isn't
going to
it
just diss
optimistic
her.
that? But the optimism of this, right, for the men to have their point of view in marriage and being honest about it, because they're not leaving
Absolutely.
their wives, right? They're
Mhm.
explaining like the day to day. And I hear what you're saying, Ruby, because we get engulfed with the pictures of like, oh, it looks like beds and roses and fairy tales every day. But what they're describing is so realistic. It's like, okay, cool. Because I'd rather you be realistic and tell me,
Mhm.
because a lot of times men don't talk about marriage. All I see what happened for dudes, realistically, they go and get married, they disappeared, and when they come back, it's like they just came out of nuclear war. I'm like, what happened to you? And they traumatized, they taking medication, they
I'm
drunk.
sorry, that should have been fun.
There,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. There's even like
Yeah.
bouts of depression that's tied on a different level.
But like they never had anybody to talk to. Nobody told them the truth once they got married. And when they come out of marriage, they can't talk about it because they got PTSD. And it's like, yo, I'd rather them tell me the truth because it's helpful. Because guess what? The question I asked, do you lose yourself in marriage as a man? We always hear that women lose themselves in marriage as a man. And that was the first question I asked.
And that's why I
I
was
almost
upfront
lost
and said that
myself.
both. And that's why I was upfront to say both parties lose yourself to a certain degree, but you don't lose your entire identity. You're still who you are, but it's like, okay, you can't do the things that you once do as a bachelor. Like I can't use my friends and apply the benefits that I once used to have when I was single. I operate differently, especially if you're trying to be a faithful man in addition to that. Now you could probably get away with certain things if you're living in a polygamous like type of lifestyle. And we got Big Rick Slaps in the building, so salute to Big Rigs.
What's
But
up, Big Rigs?
but the
Big Rick,
thing
what up,
is,
man?
what up? But the thing
What's
is,
going
you're
down?
trying to
What's going
be
down?
nothing much, Riggs. Good to see you up here. I got you next in just a minute. But the thing is, you're trying your best to be faithful in an Americanized version of a monogamous relationship. And you have to really think about it. Here's the thing. Dude, this is what this hold on. I'm gonna talk about the Bible real quick, right? Because look, no shade to it. It's more like the people that be quoting all these scriptures, men and women, but they like to quote the scriptures that benefits for them. Ain't that funny, right? Everybody quotes scriptures that benefits for them, but they don't never really quote the scriptures that's really the actual truth when you plug it in all together. So here's the thing, okay? I understand that, like even things like in the Bible changed, right, from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Whereas, like you had guys like Solomon, and David, and all those other guys, even though they were kings, they were high value men, but we didn't call them high value men. We just called them kings and all that. You had those people, especially government officials. Man, I'm telling you, they was backwooding all kinds of chicks, hundreds of them, more chicks than maybe Drake could ever like touch. You know what I mean? But things has changed. Now you became a man where you living like from 300 years old, smashing a whole bunch of women, wifing up concubines and all these other types, to trying to be faithful to one chick. I don't know. Maybe some things about nature in a man's lustful flesh, I would just say, because I'm not trying to promote it. I'm not trying to say it's right or is it wrong. But the thing is, something in our psyches is a little bit wrong with us. We have a loose king around. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that's awareness. Because we were taught by the people in the church, by our pastors, through scriptures, that your life will be great. All you need is just that one person, that one wife. You hear all the love songs like Ray J and all these other people. When I have one wish, okay? You have that one person, all of a sudden, your whole life is complete. You know, my life has changed since you came in. I knew it then. Whatever, right? I'm not trying to sing it, but I'm just
like
saying.
Tyrese. Now you're crying like Tyrese.
After you're getting cleaned out from the gutters, again, we've been sold into this dream, to this lie that one person is your sole key to happiness. And that's the thing that we have to be, as men, we got to be upfront with each other. I'm not going to sell you a dream and be like, yeah, go ahead and get married, Stan. Your life's going to be complete. You're going to get rid of all your holes, okay? And you're going to live this happy, everlasting marriage. Anyways, I digress. Go ahead, Big Riggs.
Shit, I had to step away for a quick second. So what was the question again, bro? I hate to do that to y'all.
Now, the main topic was like, what does Jada, like, Pinkett Smith stands for? And pretty much our subtopics kind of like dove into like, okay, transition from a single guy to marriage. And if you're married, do you lose a part of yourself as a guy? As we always hear from women, losing a part of themselves. But what about you, Riggs? If okay.
When it comes to that, it kind of depends on what kind of guy you was before marriage too. But I would say you would definitely lose a part of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the partying type, going out all the time or clubbing or. Some of that shit would kind of have to die down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Unless your woman is, the partying type too, and y'all can kind of get down in the same ways. So I think, with some people, they can, lose a part of themselves, man or woman. But also with some people, they gain, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe they was like hermits or something, you know what I mean? And then they get with somebody and they more lively. And they bring out a whole different, part of them, you know what I'm saying? Get them out and exploring shit, you know what I'm saying? I know when it came to my, when I first got with my baby's mom and shit, back in the day, my attitude was a lot different, it was kind of a little bit colder. But what I noticed was, she showed me different shit. Like going out and staying in different, cities and I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I never really did it like, when you in the street or whatever, you do your thing, but to go out and have fun and go out of town and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a whole different feeling, you know what I'm saying? So and restaurants and shit like that. I never went to restaurants and shit, you know what I'm saying? But that opened me up to that type of shit. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can lose a part of yourself and sometimes you can gain.
So you got yourself a Pam and Gina girl. That's what you got.
You got a hybrid?
Gina. No, Pam and Gina, like me and my big brother Tucky, we always talk about Pam and Gina's. They were like the women that brought you to the finer things in life.
Right.
Cause like you just a guy. But the Pam and Gina's be like, we're going to the museum today.
Right.
Let me introduce you to brunch.
Right. Hey, that's a fact though. I ain't even gonna lie though. That's real shit.
Yeah,
but honestly, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Honestly, like real talk, like if you can get a woman that can honestly, okay, let me know if this makes sense to y'all. Make a woman that can take you out of your comfortability zone and show you something that's kind of uncomfortable, but made it comfortable for yourself. Absolutely. Basically, make it comfortable.
Hey man,
and when you find somebody like that, man, it's good to keep them around, bro. You know what I mean? Because that's pretty genuine, and it's hard to run across genuine people. People can be fake and act like they genuine, but like when you see certain shit, man, and when people do certain things, and they see how it makes you feel and shit, and they try to do it just to get that feeling out of you know what I'm saying? You know when somebody's really trying to make you happy, bro.
So basically, you was Ice Cube, and she got you grinning like Cameron.
The analogies, though.
Well, you know,
hey, you ain't even got to respond to that,
analogy, bro.
Nah, but I mean, he's keeping it 100 though, because like I said, man, you know, she was also older. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really, I never been with nobody really younger. You know what I'm saying? I got a thing kind of for older women, but fucking
yum.
So like you know, he's right. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, I had a whole different type of attitude. And you know, my shit changed, you know what I'm saying? And then having the kid and going through that shit changed tremendously. You know what I'm saying? So
and he hit on something. You guys hit on something. It's like I think with regards to your question about losing yourself and whatnot, you don't have to at all. In fact, that's a huge indication that you should not be in that predicament. If you can pour into each other, whatever it is. And one thing I like to tell my partners when I have them is like, tell me about all the things that interest you, because it doesn't matter if I'm not into sports or if I'm not into like golf or whatever. I just want to know what you're into. And I just want to, because I care. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to even particularly agree with what they might do. You know, I used to say that I wouldn't date somebody that doesn't smoke weed, but that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you base a relationship off of something like that? You know what I mean? People, in fact, I've even said it myself. I wish I didn't smoke weed. The reason why I do is because my heart's broken and I have anxiety, and there's a whole bunch of other shit reasons why.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, why would I do that to myself? So I think that sometimes we like disillusion ourselves in terms of I'm looking for this in a partner or that, when it's like, why don't you just work on yourself to be the best that you can be? Just like I think Mr. Country Wayne said it the best. He said that the woman for him would be someone who just constantly works on herself. So if you're constantly working on yourself and the other partner's constantly working on themselves, and you guys like constantly pour into each other, that's like cosmic.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that should be more of the vibe.
Can I say something? Because like what Riggs mentioned, what Riggs said, it's kind of like what Grizz said earlier, right? It was like we're like the men are like onions, or everybody's like onions, right? You lose layers, but you also get added layer. And I agree with what you're saying, Ruby. This woman, she added layers to Rig, because she took Rig to restaurants, she took Rig to places and staycations and stuff like that. And that's why I give a shouts out to Pam and Gina girls, because Pam and Gina women, right? They like you for who you are, and they also add more to who you are.
I love that analogy. I guess I would fit in that category. And plus, you got to have some good coochie. You know what I mean?
But no, but like I know when I first started, I know when I first got married, I'm not gonna lie to you. I lost myself in my marriage. I did lose myself for a minute, because I was, like I said, I was still trying to find myself. I was still trying to find who is Quentin. Where do you like? Okay, so I started with my first name. Okay, where was I born? I was born in East Oakland, California. Okay, what am I about? I was still trying to find myself, like I said. But when I went, like I said, when I went to the end of college, I was there. Like I said, I was there when I was at school when I didn't have to be at school, because I didn't want to be in the streets. No, if I wasn't at work, you'll find me at the school when I didn't have to be there, because I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. Now I am, and so basically, like I said, know yourself. So like I said, I'm a photographer, I'm an actor, I'm a writer, and so like my wife, she used to be in theater. She used to do theater. She used to do poetry, and I'm just like, why don't you do that? And I'm like, you should still do that. Because I actually keep pushing her. So I'm like, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do something outside your comfort zone? Trying to push her to do something outside the box and stuff like that.
Reese, I got a question.
Go
For you.
ahead.
So for Riggs and M3, because you guys are in relationships. Ruby, you could come on. And here's something. It's just a very, very important question. So if you're growing as a man and you're developing your identity, how do you put that? Like, how do you keep that going and at the same time help your wife or your partner with her insecurities that you might leave her as you gain this new identity?
Go ahead, M3.
Well, first she gotta help herself.
That's a good question.
And have the ability to be a helpmate. Now, as far as me as my own person navigating to my goals and my wants, because here's the thing, I may like something at the moment until I try it out and I make a fair assessment, and then I realize it's not for me. But at the same time, did you choose a partner that's going to support you, even though maybe your dreams was only momentarily? Even though you probably decided, hey, I realized this is not for me. I thought it was. Is she going to be the type of woman that's going to cheer you on and still support you to your next endeavors?
Yeah.
Or she going to be like, damn, nigga, you just keep doing this, that. Grow up, man. Pick something, Just work at a job, do something, Or are you going to have that type of bitch in your corner? Because if not, I'm just saying, if she's not a helpmate, then what is she used for? Now, as far as navigating through her emotions, her insecurities, you have to be really patient to do that. Very patient. When you're patient, you develop an understanding. Now, stand. Now, you know me, with me and my Latina queens, okay? I'm just going to say it like that for shock value. You know what I go through on a daily when they always need help with something or when they have the telenovela moments. And of course, every day I'm always having extra stories that I haven't even shared with you yet. But that's going to be in the private, okay? But the main thing is
Latina session?
So again?
Is that going to be called the Lusty Latina session?
Hey, I like that name. That sounds pretty catchy, though.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite porn searches. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay. Really.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So when you're navigating with different emotions, whether it be at work, whether it be at home or whatever, if you have a Latino woman or Black woman or whoever, or even if you have Ruby the Samoan, right? Everybody has emotions that you have to, as a man, that you should really be patient on. Because when you're patient, then it develops a compassion. And if you could be patient with women outside of your own marriage, you damn for sure should be patient with your wife when she's going through her shit. Dude, if you're not that type of patient person, then why are you married?
But how you develop it? But I'll let Big Riggs and Grizz go on. But that'll be my.
So you develop. You develop it. You develop it with either experience with other women or really doing some social searching for yourself. So
I would say honestly, and this is just me. You take it, do like an editor, cut, paste, and me personally looking back, developing patience. Like I said, know yourself. Take some time to yourself. And also too, this may not work, but I've done it. Write down who you are. You can make a list. You can write a story. Well, I've done both. You can make a list, write a story, or just okay, my name is this. I've done this. Okay, do I like to meditate? I've never meditated before, so I'm gonna start meditating. That's something that I actually do meditate every day, almost every day. But as far as developing patience, I have never really dated like that until I met my wife. But I've gotten patience being married. I've been married for this year will be 17 years this year. Um, yeah, it'll be 17 years this year. We're still going through
Wait,
some new development.
17? I thought you just got married. Man, how old
I'm
are
gonna
you?
play this. I'm gonna play this. We're going. In the words of Marvel, DC, and all the other movies that are coming out, like Roadhouse, we're going through a reboot. We're going through a reboot.
Okay.
And in relationships, you're going to go through a lot of reboots. It's like, okay, we're in the
The new
15th reboot.
52?
Is
Like the
this one
new
going to stick?
52?
Yeah, thank
Huh?
you for that honesty.
Like the new
Yeah.
52?
Yes.
Oh,
Honestly, like in a relationship, you're going to constantly go through reboots because you're going to develop yourself. You're going to find out some new things, like M3 said earlier. You're going to find some new things. You're going to find some old things,
Apple
and
updates.
updates. Exactly, like a computer updates.
I like
But
how
I
you say
digress. I'm
Apple
not
update.
gonna
go ahead, Big Riggs. Explain.
What he said, he right on that, man. Relationships. Hold on.
I definitely have something to say after that, if you don't mind.
Relationships, their work, man. Their work every day, and that's basically what he's telling you about these reboots because sometimes shit happens, man, and you got to reset. You know what I'm saying? But also with that, with the patience, it's always good to have patience, man, with your partner. But your patience can always run out because if your partner ain't trying to make, different decisions and moves that need to be made, because usually when you have patience, you guys are having conversations, you guys are talking about the situation, you guys are trying to make things better, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, relationships are work. But if that person don't really take heed to what you're saying and the things that y'all pretty much agreed on and continue to do the same shit, your patience is gonna run out, and you're gonna eventually gonna go ahead and make a different move. You know what I'm saying? And
Big Riggs, how did you develop your patience? Because I kid you not, like where you described your past life and where you are now. So I don't know you as like now. Right now, you like Yoda. You come in and you like chill that you are. That's what. So then it's like to hear that used to be this person to now this person you are now, where you're just so chill and peaceful.
I got a son, and he sees me. He sees me every day. He sees my moves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the way I move and act, he picks up on that shit. And I want him to pick up on, the good shit that I do. I don't want him, he knows about my past and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And I tell him how my attitude used to be, because it used to be like that even with his mom. I wasn't a mean person, but I come from an era, man, where everything was all on a motherfucking female, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you want my time and all that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be worth something. Not like I'm all that or anything. Not on no pimping shit or nothing like that. But it's just that was just the game. You feel me? Like I'm doing my thing. I ain't really tripping. You feel me? If you want to kick it and shit, then this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So my attitude is completely changed from that. You know what I'm saying? And just the way I interact. You know what I'm saying? I've always been cool with women and shit like that. That's the thing. I've always been cool. Never had an issue. Always been nice. Made them smile. All that type of shit. But my game, I don't want to say game, but just the way I carry myself was strong. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the reason why I am the way I am, man. I mean, I got a son. He watches what I do, man. I want him to be a respectful, you know what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to be on no type of bullshit, especially if, if I have something to do with it, you know what I mean? So that's why, man. And it's just real shit, you know what I'm saying? When you be around, just real shit and kind of been through certain situations and you kind of know what kind of outcomes you can get with them, and it ain't really worth it, you know what I'm saying? Even with like arguments with people and going back and forth and shit, like what the fuck is that shit gonna prove? You know what I'm saying? Now, when you really in contact with somebody and the shit really gets real, and you know what it is, but all that other shit, it's just, you know what I'm saying? No time, no need for it, man. I'm more on some peaceful shit. I want people to have fucking fantastic days and everything, bro, because we are not promised tomorrow, man. I lost so many fucking people the last few years. It's just it's unbelievable, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I went from having a family to like having no family. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like pops and grandparents and uncles and gone. You know what I'm saying? So I just look at things different. I cherish people, man. I just want us to, you know, I don't want to say kumbaya, but just treat each other with more respect, man, and respect life, man, because we're not promised tomorrow, man. And just to be negative with somebody, what the fuck does that prove? What is that doing? You upsetting somebody and making their day bad. What the fuck does that prove? But when you make somebody's day good, that they're gonna make somebody else's day good because they're feeling good. They might pass that on. That's how I see it.
Hey Rex, man, I appreciate you, man, for like you have a certain realness where it's like it's real, but it's like humbling at the same time. Where it humbles the other people who's listening to like what you where you're coming from. Because I know for sure you're a man like of your caliber. You if you wanted to, you could pretty much just do like a big flex. You know what I mean? I mean, no pun intended, because your big rig slaps. But I'm just saying, you know, but your aura, your vibe, and the way how you articulate in certain situations, it makes people respect you like a lot more. And when they're listening to it, it actually makes people like me even think. Like, now here's the thing: I don't want nobody to think I'm like this mean person or whatever, right? Because of my YouTube persona and how I talk or whatever. But honestly, man, like like in person, real life or whatever, I'm like one of like the nicest guys, man. When it comes to like just people in general, I just don't let people disrespect me to a point where you think I'm a pushover. Then you get the ugly side of me. Ruby, I know you was next. I didn't mean to kind of like cut you through, but go
No, it's
ahead.
okay. With regards to Stanley's question, I think that that's why self love and self excuse me, preservation. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you,
It's
well.
okay. Self preservation or self awareness and all of that self work that you have to do. It's just super important as just a individual, and we shouldn't want to lose that in just a relationship. And you know what, I think we're again to the disillusions of thinking that and then putting certain expectations on people, right? So I wanted to share, there's a couple of women influencers out there, some with very extreme um, I would say perceptions when it comes to the nature of men, and some with a specific message to women. And sometimes I just chuckle because, and sometimes they do make sense, right? Let's just say. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's ever okay to do male bashing. Never, ever, ever. Because not only from like a relationship standpoint, but as Rig said, it's like you might have a son, you might have a nephew, you might have a neighborhood child that you really care about, that you really want the best for. So I think we need to stop looking at these narratives like, dang, these guys ain't shit or something. I really hate hearing that, especially when it comes from a perception of a person who doesn't know themselves. So it's like it's not just like encouraging other women to utilize men for resources and stuff. I think that shift needs to change because we've proven time and time to again that we can be so providers as well. Some of us have grown up where only the mom was holding it down, whether financially or something. Let's be real. So it's like if we already know that, then why can't we like just build on each other? Like, what are the questions that solutionize these things? And when
Mm-hmm.
I began talking to you guys in the beginning, I was just, kidding about that, but there was some truth in it. Like, what are the benefits if we're talking about community and building solid relationships? What are the true benefits that one can enjoy as a result of your experience?
That is definitely like a good question, Ruby. And that will be something I feel like that we should all as like men like just like think about. Now, unfortunately, we did run out of time because the intellectual soapbox is about to live stream in just like maybe
I'm
a
sorry,
minute.
guys. I know it's saying about me and women.
Wait, say again?
I apologize. Thanks for having me.
No problem, Rue. Actually, like I'm glad that you came up, right? Even in this podcast for mental health for men, but I'm once in a while I'm glad to kind of get like a woman's perspective, so we can actually have like a challenge for that. Now, for the rest of y'all women, don't come up, but for Rue, hey, that's my sister though, so she can come up anytime. I love her. But salutes to you, Big Red Slaps. Hey, Stan, thank you for just co-hosting with me.
Oh, thank you.
Huh?
Real quick, thank you guys for being honest. You didn't discourage anything. I love the honesty, and I believe that this will help a lot of men with their own mental health, because I'm sure enough a lot of men are going through this and they don't know if they're going at it alone. So this is very helpful.
Yeah,
this is a good stream, man. I'm glad I was able to make it to this one. Is this something you guys are going to be doing every Tuesday?
Yeah, every Tuesday nights for now, like at 6:00 p.m. Pacific time. Pacific Standard Time. Damn, my allergies. So, like, of course, like, it's mental health for men. Men, come up. Rule, hey, I like when you came up because, I like your perspective. You're calm. You got that logical type of energy. Excuse me, or whatever. So, I might make a few exceptions, especially for you. Plus, I love you anyway, Queen. But other than that, I wanted to create
I'll definitely slide through again, man. Definitely.
Yeah. Smitty, hey, salutes, respect to you. We gotta wrap it up because Mr. Best will be streaming. So everybody tune in to Mr. Best's like live stream.
Salute.
I pinned the link to the top. So we better go head over right now. Show the intellectual soapbox your love and support, and we are out. Later, everybody. Thank you and peace out.
Knowledge and relationships.